A garment that you can wear throughout the year and also is super easy to make. The slip midi skirt. And today I will show you how to make them. This is a beginner-friendly sewing project and will not take more than a single afternoon to make. This skirt is cut on bias and has an elasticated waist. Both front and back consist of two panels, and if you want to, you can make a front slit. Or you can also play with colors and make this skirt in two separate tones. You can find this pattern in our Etsy or online stores. The links are down in the description. This pattern comes in A0 format, which you can print at a coffee shop, and A4 US letter formats that you can print with the regular printer. By the way, this pattern comes in US sizes from 0 to 20. The front and back for the skirt are exactly the same. The only difference is if you are making the slit, then mark the slit notches at the front. Remember that this is only the suggested height for the slit. Feel free to make it higher or lower. For the skirt you will need a fabric that drapes very well, such as polyester, silk or viscose. For the skirt with slit I will use this red fabric, but for the skirt without a slit I will be more playful and use these two fabrics. You will need a matching thread and also an elastic band that is 3 cm wide. I will use a sewing machine and a serger, but if you don't have the serger, just use sewing machine zigzag stitch instead. Let's start by cutting out all the details. Together we have only 4. Remember to follow the straight grain line and cut this skirt on bias. It is always challenging to cut satin fabrics, that's why I am using a lot of weights and also pinning down the pattern pieces. If you are planning to make a slit, then mark the placement of the slit. Let's start by sewing the main and the side panels together. If you are making the option without the slit, then do this step for both front and back panels. But if you are making the slit, then do this step only for the back panels. Lay the main and side panels with the right sides facing each other and then make a stitch 1 cm apart from the edge. Neaten the seam we just made. After that, press the seam. At first I'm pressing the seam itself because my serger made it quite uneven, and then I am pressing the seam towards the side panel. If you aren't making a slit, skip this part and go straight to the side seam chapter. But for the rest of the us, we need to neaten these seams starting from the side seam to the slit notch. If you are using a serger, then leave a bit of threads and then pull 1 or 2 threads from the serger stitch, and this will turn this stitch in a knot. Press the neatened edges to make them completely flat. Lay the side panel on the main panel with the right sides facing each other. Pin starting from the slit's notch until the side edge. Stitch 1 cm apart from the edge. Press the seam open. Lay the front and back panels with the right sides facing each other. Give some special attention to the part where the side panel goes together with the main panel and match together the seam there. Stitch 1 cm apart from the edge. Neaten both side seams. Personally, if I'm using a serger, I usually neaten my seams together, but if I was using a zigzag stitch, I would neaten them separately. Here I am flattening out my side seams and then I will press these seams towards the back panel. Take your elastic band and put the shortest edges on top of each other. I will use a zigzag stitch to sew them together. You can also use a straight stitch and make several lines and maybe like a cross in between. Since the elastic band will not be visible neither from outside or inside, I am using the same color thread as I did for my skirt. To easier match the elastic band with the skirt panels, I am going to mark the middle point and also the quarters. To find the middle points for the skirt, fold them in a way that the side seams are matching. Mark these middle points either with a soap or a marker, or you can also make small trims like 4 mm in the fabric. Now we can finally join the elastic band with the skirt panels. So match the elastic band seam together with one of the side seams. Place this elastic band on the right side of the skirt and also match the rest of the markings. I am going to pin the elastic band only on the markings. Stitch 1 cm apart from the edge, and while you are stitching around, stretch the elastic band in a way that the length matches the length of the skirt. Carefully press the seam in a way that the elastic band goes upwards and the skirt goes downwards. Fold the elastic band towards inside and make a stitch right on top of the side seam. Do this step for both side seams, and if it helps you, use a pin to fix the elastic band in the place. Press around the folded edge. Be very careful not to press in the creases of the fabric. Now let's repeat the previous step. So fold the elastic band again and make a stitch exactly on this side seam. Do the step for both side seams. It is a perfect time to do a try-on. So here we can make sure if we like the height of the slit, maybe want to make it higher or lower. Also, we can check if we like the length of the skirt, and now it would be a good time to shorten them if you want to. I'm going to leave them as they are and work with the slit. If you aren't making a slit, then jump straight to the hemming chapter. For the slit, I am going to use baby hem. I'm starting by pressing down 7 mm of the seam allowance. If you are super professional, you can skip the pressing, but I find this much more easier to work with later. Here at the very corner of the slit, also fold those 7 mm, and when you will be stitching, feel free to stitch even higher than the actual slit. Stitch 2 mm apart from the folded edge. Do this step for both edges of the slit. Here is the corner of the slit. I know it looks quite confusing at the moment, but the idea is that you will be able to fold it again, and then the seam and the slit will go completely flat. Give a quick press to smoothen everything out if needed. Take sharp scissors and trim off the excessive part of the seam allowance. Be very careful not to cut in the stitch or to cut in the fabric itself. Fold this edge again and stitch 2 to 3 mm apart from the folded edge. Start stitching from the bottom hem and then go up until the corner of the slit. Make sure that the slit is completely flat and stop the needle at the very crossing of the slit and then continue stitching on the other side of the slit. So this is the end result. Maybe you managed to get it even narrower. At this point, it is super important to give a very good press, and you will see why. Since the skirt is cotton bias and also because it's satin, sometimes seams get stretched out, and here you can see that my main panel is quite a lot longer than the side panel, and my goal is to make the slit edges to be completely the same. So I simply mark the new hemline and I am cutting off the excessive part of the fabric. And now for all of us, the final step is do the baby hem all around the hem. So fold 7 mm of the hem and stitch 1 to 2 mm apart from the folded edge. I will give a quick press because I feel this helps me to work with this hem later. Trim off the excessive part of the hem allowance. Fold the hem again and stitch 2 to 3 mm apart from the folded edge. And this is it, give the final press and we have finished. If you enjoyed this tutorial, please leave us a like and subscribe to our channel for more sewing and knitting tutorials. Bye!